There we go. Okay, well, welcome to Poppy's Workshop. Had a little false start there, and hopefully now everything is working and we're happy to get going. Well, welcome to this, the 2nd of December, and I've got a few projects. If you take a look at my video that I did, What's on Poppy's Workshop, or I should say workbench, I had a couple things that I had shown, and here they are here. And we're going to cut out a car. We're going to cut out a little puppy. They're going to have wheels and all that stuff, and a small little bus. This is made out of 3/4 inch red oak, and that's just a nice hard wood that I like working with. What I am planning on using, and I may change my mind, but I'm going to use a number 7 Flying Dutchman Ultra Reverse blade. I think that should cut this quite well. And I was thinking of using my Pegasus 10 blades. They are pretty good blades. And being that I'm going to be doing such extensive sanding, I figured, I could use those, but I really like my Flying Dutchman. So as you can see, I flip my lever back so I can see where I am in the chuck, so that I always put it in the same place. You have to remember to lower it back down when you do the bottom chuck. And there we go, we're in. I'm going to loosen, pull up just a little bit so I get my proper tension. Now let me get my top vac out of the way. Since I won't be using that, we'll get that at the right height. And what I'm going to do is give a little bit on the back side here, scuff that up a little bit, turn, and we're ready. And just double check to make sure that's all set there. So what I think I am going to do is, let's start with the puppy. And we have 2 internal cuts that I would like to do. And in this case, we have the ear and we have the heart. So let's go get that heart done first. And we'll go from there. Okay, and I know with the oak, my hands hurt today. I know with the oak, it's much harder wood. So we will need to speed things up a little bit, and I'm going to zoom in just a little bit closer so you can see things a little bit better. Sorry for the shake. And we're going to start here and work our way around, and let's have at it. I love when the blades are new on thick wood like this. Actually, I think I need to speed things up a little bit more. I could have cut these all out separately from the big piece of wood, but this is actually a fairly decent size to work with. Let me get my puffer in just a little bit closer here. Get that clean. Yeah, there we go. I was starting to lose sight of my line. Actually, I'm going to speed it up a little bit more. Ooh, noisy. There we go. And we're at this turn here. still trying to get used to doing a live and feeling obligated to speak while I'm scrolling, because it can get pretty boring. And I think once I start getting more people and they'll be conversing on the chat, it would be a whole lot better. And here we go. Now, of course, when I do this, when I complete this, it's all cut out. I'm going to put it on the sander and I'm going to try and round off. There we go. Whoop. I'm going to try and round off the, get that out there. There we go. And let's see. Let's get that heart showing here. Wait, get it down here. There we go. And there's the heart. So let's back up the wide angle a little bit here. There we go. So we've got the heart out. And, you know, it's too bad. I could probably go in and salvage this by making that a little bit sharper where the drill pilot hole was. And I'll just put it down because I've got another heart down there. And I might be able to use it for something else. Have these pre-cut hearts, which would be really nice. Yeah, not using my vacuum is the one thing. I get all this sawdust, and I like to keep a clean shop. But kind of hard when I'm trying to keep things quiet. But I'm planning on building a vacuum box that'll have some sound deadening material in it, the foam acoustic panels. And I think that would be very helpful, that I can actually run the vacuum. Though this particular part, actually you can't see it since the blade is up. Let me get it down before I make that comment. Okay, here we go. So my top vac here, it does make a lot of noise. The intake, the sucking noise, are we out of focus? Let's move that a little bit. Yeah, sorry for the shaking, but I think you'd rather see the blade and what it's actually doing and how I'm doing it more so. There we go. Get that closer. I think you can see everything. Get a good view in there. And let's go get the ear out of the way now. Yep, okay. Sometimes I forget to flip the tension lever, and that'll truly mess things up. Here we go. And I'm letting the blade do the work, feeding as much as it cuts, because I want to make sure that my cuts are clean, my cuts are sharp and perpendicular, because if you start pushing, things will start to go wonky on you. You don't want to do that, of course. And that really becomes important when you're doing puzzles, for example, when you're doing intarsia. And what I would recommend is that if you have a chance, is that you take a look at my blog site. I've got lots of articles on it. But I also have my gallery, and you'll see some of the puzzles that I do, for example. And they're not super complex puzzles. You know, my grandson's only 9 months old, so he's not going to be able to truly appreciate the puzzles for quite a while. But I do give them to other children. As a matter of fact, there's this little girl, I think she's almost 2 years old now. And I just had a picture sent to me of her at a restaurant with one piece of a puzzle that I gave her as a gift for her birthday this year, or it was last year for her first birthday. And it was a little giraffe, so she likes to take that giraffe with her. So the toys that I do with puzzles, not only are they a puzzle, but I try to make them individual play pieces. So you want to keep that in consideration that yes, they do need to fit together exactly, but you do want the size, the type of wood, its durability and everything like that to kind of match. Let me clean this up a little bit. And there we go. Get that light out of the way. So now we have the ear. And let's take a look at this. So looking close, you can see how clean the ultra reverse blade cuts. All right, here's the little nib where I started. And on this type of cut, it's very difficult to find a good starting point. Whereas if you're doing something with corners, I try and start in the corner. That way you hide that. But, you know, I cleaned it up inside. I don't feel anything anymore. Well, you can't see it there. Let's glue there. Let's glue that. So where I started over here, I don't feel it anymore. Well, a little bit. So I'll go in there with a little bit of sandpaper or my my rotary tool to clean that up, because of course I want everything nice and smooth, and I'll be rounding off all the edges. So we'll do that. Let's see. Let's get all our inside cuts done. And let me take a moment here and let's see what is going on. If anybody is actually in the chat. No, that's okay. All right. So let's do this window here. And the one thing with doing a big piece, of course, is I forgot where the hole is here. Where is it? Wait a second. I lost track of where I am. That's typical. There we go. Whoop. There we go. So I do check the bottom chuck on occasion, more frequently than not, just to make sure that it's staying nice and tight. Yeah, you can still see where I'm cutting here. So that is good. All right, let's get into this one. So these are thicker lines than I'm used to. So I'm cutting the outside. That's, whoops. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to follow versus my 1-point lines that I prefer. But you'll notice that I did put this in my software, change the black lines to a magenta, which for my eyes, my eyesight, I find to be much easier to see. Yeah, I'm pushing a little bit. But the temperature has certainly changed this week. Right now, this Saturday, it's a little bit damp, not too bad. Rains once in a while, but it's 67 degrees right now. Whereas earlier this week, it was at night we were in the 30s, which for us mid-Atlantic people, that's a wee bit cold. And during the daytime, we'd be lucky if we get up into the 50s. All right, here we go for a straight line. And I can feel the blade dulling, which is to be expected when you're doing a hard wood like this. I'm trying to make my lines as smooth as possible. That wasn't very good. And let's get into the entry as best as possible. There we go. And got a little burr there. I think you can, no, you can't really see where the burr is. So we'll smooth that out. There we go. That'll minimize the sanding that I have to do. Let's go zoom out a little bit here. There we go. That way you can see what I'm doing. Whoop. Gotta come out straight here. And let's get these little windows. Or, you know, I'm gonna save this little car for later. Let's take care of the outside cuts. And I'm thinking right now, this blade is starting to dull, so I'm going to do the car first. And I think after I do the car, depending on how the blade is doing, I'll set it aside and I'm going to do the windows. Or what I'll do is I'll cut this out, do the windows, then I'll swap out blades and go to a number 10. But it all depends on how this blade decides to act at this juncture. So let's zoom you in a little bit here. There we go. And let me get my magnifying glass down. And let's see how this does on the outside cut. I'll tell you, sometimes I wish I had the cutting deck that was a little bit longer than the, what is this, 7 inches or so in front. I think it's the Seiko. But if I do buy another scroll saw, I would probably buy a 30-inch throat. This is the 21, which actually it serves me well, and that's why I probably won't be getting a another scroll saw for a while. You know, I'm not a production shop. I do a couple projects a week for holidays, or I'll work on one long project, and you know, I don't do a lot of hours in the shop. I mean, there's some on holidays where I'll put 8+ hours in if I'm in the mood. Yeah, this blade is starting to chatter, so I don't think it's going to be good for the windows. You know, you look at blades and you've got to balance out, you know, blades aren't super expensive, but I'm starting to work a lot harder at this. You know, the control's still there, mainly because it's a thick, hard wood, but it could be cutting a little bit faster. And that's what you have to balance out. I want to make sure my cuts are really good, nice and smooth, as I had shown you. And kind of go from there. Yeah, I think I'm going to switch over to the Pegasus blade for the fun of it. The thing is, I find that the Pegasus, I think it's a modified geometry, doesn't give me the as clean of a cut in terms of the backside. No big deal. Yeah, this is definitely starting to drift. Let me speed it up just a little bit. Yeah, all this sawdust. For me, with my ADD of cleanliness, all the sawdust is kind of driving me up a wall. That's why I work so hard to design my dust extraction system, especially having the top back. What I like about these type of cars, these toys, they're really easy to make. We can cut them out really fast. And again, they're durable with the oak. They're fun for the kids, easy to handle. And it just makes me happy. There we go. There we go. Let's see what that looks like. Let's zoom out here. Get that light out of the way. So here we go. Here's the car cut out, and again, if you look at the edge, if I wasn't going to be sanding this round, you know, there is no sanding needed. Well, maybe there, where I started and I finished, but actually that's where I started. That's where I finished was actually better. But you look, it's nice and shiny, it's nice and smooth, just a great cut. So let's put that on my workbench, and let's see, I forgot where, I think they are back here. Yeah. So I would say this one is pretty much done. Let me take a look at it. Ooh, there we go. I'm trying to look at the color. Let me get it under my light. Well, I didn't burn it. So, you know, I'm looking at some of the teeth. Definitely look a little bit worn. Let's compare it to the top that wasn't cut. Yeah, just a little bit. You can see the edges are knocked off a little bit. But I might be able to get those windows cut out with that. So let me reach back here. I think I got one. All right, and let's take a look at the direction of the blades. Yep, usually I'll run my finger and it will run easy that way, but a stick that way. And of course, look through the magnifying glass. I want to make sure that the teeth are down. So let's scuff this up a little bit. And also the way that I tell is the way that the finish is on the bottom of the blade is a little bit different. So that makes things easier to determine which direction your blade is going in for your Pegasus. Whereas with the Flying Dutchman, you have that little bubble bend in the get that up there. You got that little bend in it that tells you which is your upper part of the blade. There we go. Okay, you know, let me brush things off a little bit here. And see, let me give a little look here. See what, I'm trying to use my mouse on my computer next to me and see if I've got anything going on. No, that's okay. All right. That's all right. This way I get content and hopefully get more subscribers in time. And see what happens. All right, so let's see where I want to start. I'm thinking of starting at the, let's see, I'll put it here. I'm thinking of starting at the nose, so I'll come in that way and I'll just follow around this way. Now, what I could do, being that there's going to be a wheel here, let's say that there was just all round and, you know, I could actually start in here because it's going to be hidden by the wheel. But again, being that I'm kind of a perfectionist, I would prefer to have, you know, no burrs and things like that, because if the child does reach his finger in, between the wheels. Let me see if I can get that where we can see. Yeah, so if he's reaching in here, and there's even a little burr. So I want to make sure, especially with children's toys, that they are as safe as possible. Man, I'm getting sawdust on my camera. Ooh. Let's zoom in a little bit here. There we go. And I think that is now in focus. Okay, so let's begin. Let's see how the Pegasus does. And I'm going to slow it down just a wee bit and go from there. Did I flip that back? Yes, I did. Okay. And I have to speed it up. Yeah, I can feel it definitely cuts differently. And I'm going to come in. There we go. Cut my straight line. Yeah, I've got to get used to this blade. This blade tracks so much differently than the Flying Dutchman. It feels, not that it's harder to control, it's just a different type of control. So I've got to adjust my hand movements. So I've got to go a little bit slower to see how things are tracking until I get used to it. But I do have to say it is cutting quickly, it's cutting nicely. And maybe I'll use this for the windows and cutting out the little car. Because even the windows of the little car are not super sharp in terms of the corners, or I should say the looping turns, that a number 10 should be pretty easy to cut. So I think that's what I'm going to do rather than switch back to the old number 7. Yeah, I'm drifting just a little bit. And with this type of toy, it's no big deal. So what's nice, things are a lot more forgiving. Which is nice. Yeah, this is working well. Yeah, sometimes I wonder if I should just do my live videos pretty much as a standard live feed of my studio. But the problem is, it would be noisy until I do my insulated box for my dust extraction system, for my vacuum. You know, I could open up the garage door. I've got the big garage door, open it up and move the vacuum around the corner, but it'll still be a bit noisy. I forgot who it was that actually designed these toys, but I got them off the forum, Scroll Saw Village. At least these, the toy car that we just cut out, and this one that I'm cutting now. What I will probably be doing is I'll finish these up today, and then I've got a few ornaments that I'm going to do as well. One of which is from the Scroll Saw Village, and the other is a Volker Arnold, which I really love his work, especially his candle arches, German candle arches. I actually showed a German officer a picture of one that I just completed yesterday, and he was busy having to do something else, so he can only look for like 15 seconds. Like, I want to talk to you, I want one. So, yeah, let me make sure that I notice that this blade is already starting to dull just a little bit, which is to be expected. I just got that BOGO as a customer of Mike's, and I ordered 2 gross of blades, ultra reverse. I got some 3s, a lot of 3s, a lot of 5s, and some 7s. And those are pretty much my go-tos, though I have been using the #1 Flying Dutchman Ultra Reverse for a lot of my projects, especially the multi-layered Susan May designs. And I have some spirals. I don't use them that often. And I'm slowly getting used to them for some type, but when it comes to having sharp edges, I'm just really adamant that's what I want. And I find that for the type of work that I do, that the spiral blades, except for some parts like tree branches and stuff, it just doesn't deliver what I'm looking for. Yeah, my lines are a little bit more shaky than normal because I'm still not quite used to this blade. It's not bad, but I'm surprised it's dulling out as quickly as it is right now. Let's make that turn. I can't wait in a few years when my grandson is older and we'll be able to start at first saying, you know, Poppy, Poppy, can you make me this car? Can you make me a puppy? Can you make me this or that? And, you know, have him watch. And then as he gets older, and I can teach him how to use regular hand tools, and then eventually power tools, that he'll be scrolling as well. And we're on the home stretch. Here we go. Boom. Okay, we got that. Now let's take a look at that edge here. Wait a sec, get some dust off. And let's back up a little bit. There we go. So you can see the difference. Again, it's so minor. Let's get in there. This is the back side. And you can see the cut itself is not as smooth as the other. So let's look there on the edge. I'm trying to get it into the light and in focus. You know, again, not bad, but it will definitely need, if this was a piece that I wasn't going to do a heavy profile, I would definitely have to sand. So let me grab the other piece that I did. And you can definitely see a difference of how smooth and shiny that is compared to that. So that's, again, a personal preference. And I am not saying that there's anything wrong with the Pegasus blades. Like everything, they do have their purpose. And again, they're a nice aggressive cut. Generally, they last a lot longer than the Flying Dutchman. That's the weakness of the Flying Dutchman, is that they will wear out fast on certain types of wood, especially if you get down to the, let's see. I'm trying to think. Oh, like Purple Heart, Bloodwood, good heavens. Those are like cutting granite. It's just insane how hard a wood can be. Those Jankas, were they 2,000 or 3,000? I mean, it was nuts how hard they are. And they would dull out a blade. The Flying Dutchman would dull out real quick. They would start burning. Whereas you get these, the Pegasus would do really well. So I think this will do quite well. And we'll be able to knock this little puppy out pretty quickly. And I'm off a little bit. I gotta get split in this line. This dust is driving me crazy. Yes. But I've got a couple people at work that have young children, some small boys, and they're at the age where I think they would appreciate these little type of toys. All right, let me pay attention here. And home stretch. Oh, let's get you out of the way and get rid of that little. Oh, I went too far. I think I may have to correct that. Yeah, that's not too bad. But I will definitely correct that with my rotary tool. Yeah, the number 10, in a way, I actually bought them by accident. I think, again, it might have been Mike's. He had made a mistake and overbought them, or something was wrong, whatever, and he had repackaged them to smaller amount. So I bought smaller packages of these just to try them out, because at worst, I figured, I'll be able to use them when I'm ripping some wood into smaller pieces, and I just want a nice blade that I can do some straight cuts. And I got them for dirt cheap. It was a great deal. I also bought, I forgot who it was that I bought them from, just another company that provides blades, and they had a variety pack. So they had Pegasus, they had Flying Dutchman, they had Neequa, which in reality, as most people know, Neequa makes the Flying Dutchman, which is just a rebrand. So I had that. And again, I bought a couple gross from Mike's, and hopefully, if it doesn't arrive today, it usually takes him about a week to get stuff to me, which is really nice, even though he says it will take longer. But his service has been really good. Yeah, I'll play with that later. His service has been really good, and, getting things quickly. And I just like to keep a good supply of blades, and after this, we finish this, I can show you where I keep the blades in test tubes on the left and right hand side of my my saw. I thought I was done with Christmas type projects. You know, I did some nativities and things like that, and I've got two different ornaments that I'm going to be stack cutting. That'll probably be tomorrow's video. I'll do a live on that. But I figured with some of the gifts that I have for like the Secret Santa, where I have some nativities for my gift person, and unfortunately I'm not going to be able to go to that party. I'm going to be going in for a medical procedure. No big deal, don't worry about it. I'll tell you, it's going to be a busy Christmas week for me with the doctors. I just had some oral surgery, and it turns out when they finished my crown, after all that time in the chair, it didn't seat as precisely as he wanted. I mean, it's off probably less than this 1 point line. Yeah, a lot less than that. And the doctor's like, nah, we've got to redo it. I mean, it feels fine. So that'll be the 21st that I go in for that. And then that day also, I go to another doctor to go over my x-rays and blood results. And then it's 2 days before that, I'm doing the cancer screening for us old men. Yeah, and of course you have the day of prep before that, which is not fun. Yeah, I'll start that the same way. Again, this will be hidden by ooh, gotta get my blade in there. Get my lens. Can't quite see. There we go. Come on, bite. And I'm just trying to see how the blade's going to track at this angle. That's why I'm going real slow. This is the advantage of not being a production shop. Other than for having things done by Christmas, I'm in no rush. I don't have to worry about sales. I'll tell you, I like cross-cutting better than ripping. This just goes through so nice on the cross. And you can hear the difference in sound. Watch or listen. So here we go. Let's go to the rip. It's a little bit louder. Shatters a bit more. I'll tell you, one of the things that I'm so glad that I added to this saw, number one, of course, is the top back. I am missing it right now like crazy. The other thing is the foot pedal. I think that is probably one of the most helpful things that I've purchased. That's the second thing. And pretty much all of my tools that cut are on a foot pedal. My drill press is not. My barrel sander is not. though my 20-inch disc, 20-inch belt with 5-inch disc is. The other thing that I like, other than for the scroll saw, is the automatic vacuum switch. So for my sanders and for the drill press, for example, as soon as I step on the foot pedal to turn it on, the vacuum will go on. Hold on for a second here. Let's get that out. There we go. And let's, dusty hands. And let's get this backed out. There we go. And get this up. And there we go. We've got the little bust there. And let's get the back side. So this is ready for barrel sanding. I'll put it on the barrel and just go like that and get that rounded off. This will be the easy one to do. The dog will be a little bit harder. I think the car, let's get these other ones here. I think the car will be very easy to do. So these I'll probably do first because I'll be able to get them done really, really quickly. Let's get this out of the way. There we go. I'll be able to get these done really quickly. This here will be a little bit harder, and we'll see. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using the big 2-inch wheels for these two, and then I've got the little smaller wheels for this one. And these big wheels, I'm going to use pegs, but I'm going to have to cut them off because they would actually be a little bit too far. So I'll go just a little bit halfway, get them in with some CA glue, and they will be good to go very quickly. And I'm going to have to place an order in for more of those because I have been busy making cars. Oh, look at this mess. This yeah, this drives me up a wall. However, the nice thing, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to check my box underneath. Yeah, that has sawdust on it. Let me get that out. So underneath, I have my catch box. I don't know if I can get it in there. So they're just a simple catch box. But it also, let's see if you can see that, it does get some sawdust in it, which is nice for when you're doing things and you need sawdust to correct. You know, for example, the 3-layer that I did, I broke a couple pieces. Oops, that wasn't very fun. And I used some CA glue and a whole pile of matching sawdust from what I had cut, and was able to tack different spots on it. So it came out pretty well. And we definitely need, I'm going to turn the vacuum on after I'm done with this live video and go from there. But let me do this for those of you who have not seen the other video that I did. And these are the other 2 projects that I will be working on. So let's bring this up. This is from the Scroll Saw Village, and they have a couple books with ornaments that they do, ornaments for charity. And you know, these I'm going to be giving away, and eventually I do have an idea for my own nonprofit organization that will be working with toys for children, maybe even ornaments and stuff. I was thinking combining that. I'm working on writing the business plan right now. I think I'm at 15 pages of it. And this here, let me get this in the light a little bit better. This is the Volker Arnold. Let me zoom in. Can we see that? Yeah, there we go. So this is the Volker Arnold. And this is a really nice, I bought a couple of his books, but I think this might have been out of a free collection. But I just bought, I think it was books 19, 20, 19 and 20 that I got of his. And there's a couple designs that I really like. And they are winter / Christmas. So I'll probably be starting those up come summertime. Let me go back wide again. There we go. So I'll start doing the winter ones probably during the summertime and seeing what I really need to do, because what's probably going to happen is people will start asking for commissions. I know somebody has already asked me or has told me, oh, for next year, for 2024, I want you to do something for my daughter. And yeah, so, you know, these will be fillers and gifts for other people. And again, probably one will go on my grandson's tree that we have in our house. We actually have 2 trees right now. My wife wanted an all white tree, and I don't like all white trees. I want the green tree with ornaments only, because all the ornaments that we have are very, very special. And that's something that I want to make sure that we do. That every ornament that we have on the tree will have a certain meaning. You know, for example, when my daughter got married at Disney, it was at the Floridian. There's the wedding chapel. She got married there because her wedding cruise got canceled because of COVID. My other daughter, of course, she got married on the Disney Wonder on a cruise ship. You know, a number of years before that, before the world went crazy. And you know, we got ornaments, like we'd have a little ship ornament, and those we have since given to our daughters once they got married. But there were childhood ones, you know, the first time they went to Hershey Park or Knoebels or whatever. They did ballet, so there's a ballerina. And of course we have the green pickle. And the green pickle is you hide the pickle in the tree, and the person who finds it is either the first one to open the gift or the one who plays Santa Claus and gives out the gifts. So we have a lot of traditions with that, but we do have the second tree, which is all white, that my wife wanted for my grandson, since it is his first Christmas. And, you know, maybe something like this. You know, I'll put both of them on, since this is a triple, this is a quadruple stack. So I'll be able to get a lot of, you know, a lot of ornaments out of this. So yeah, there you go. That's, I think, pretty much it for today. I hope that this has been a nice time watching, or I know most people who are going to see this after the stream will probably just fast forward through things, see what's going on. That's the tough thing about doing these live streams. You know, in a sense, it's kind of boring just watching me cut, watching my hands. And you'll notice that I don't show myself in videos. I'm not trying to be a YouTube quote unquote influencer or anything like that. I've done that in the past, where I became a character, so to speak, and I don't want to do that. You know, look, I'm going to be turning 62 years old. This is really a young man's game in a way, what's going on in the influencer business and everything like that. I just hope that I can meet some people, talk to some people, chat with some people, exchange ideas, and just kind of show what scroll sawing and the arts that the various type of arts, you know, whether it's Christmas ornaments, whether it's toys, whether it's intarsia, puzzles, whatever it is, you know, just to show what we can do. And hopefully younger folk will say, oh, wow, that's cool. Because I think it was in last week's video, live stream, I just kind of said, lamented that the quality, the expectation of quality or purchasing quality is no longer there. I was looking at some fretwork that people do, or fretwork in the past, especially like clocks, the beautiful German cuckoo clocks. And I forgot which site it was that does clocks, has a lot of them. And it's like, this is beautiful stuff, but I'm only doing it for myself, because unless I can find that one special person who really wants it and do it as a commission, yeah, it's just not there. You know, you look at furniture today, you know, look, you go get the, it's the female name beginning with a, her furniture, and it looks beautiful. But you flip it over and you see, oh, it's thin pine, it's cardboard, it's staples. Whereas my grandfather, you know, he was an upholsterer. He was a builder of fine furniture. I had an uncle who did the same thing. We're talking dovetails, you know, the maples, the oaks, you know, the real hard woods, not plywood. And plywood in projects just drive me up a wall. I know that there's certain advantages of not warping and stuff, but truthfully, I think it looks cheap. And I'll say it loud and clear. I don't like projects in plywood or MDF. Use them as a backer, yeah, but when it comes to things, I want real hardwood. I want just, you know, nice stuff. So I think I'm going to end it there. We're at an hour, I believe, or very close to an hour. So I will be doing a stream tomorrow morning. Most likely it will be early in the morning. I am up very early. And it's kind of good for the folk who are in Europe too. I know there's a few folk out there too. So until tomorrow, I wish you the best. May the Lord richly bless you and make it a great day right here at Poppy's Workshop.